At the end of the day, when we put the whole look together, it's like you see that look on them and you just know. You're like, that dress was made for her. That look, those accessories that really all came together, and that look was really made for her.
Hi, everybody, and welcome back to the Tea with Mona Me. Today, I'm here with Lauren Dietrich of L. Garrettson. Hi, Lauren.
Hi, Monty. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Hi, everyone. Thank you for having me.
Of course. So tell us a little bit about yourself.
Sure. So I am an accessories designer based here at Mona Me, and I have been here for about 2 years now. I'm from the East Coast, so I moved to California about 5 years ago and saw the sunshine and the palm trees and never looked back, which has been great. But yes, I've been in bridal for a long time, so I am so happy to be here with you and to be at the store.
Tell us a little bit about your career thus far in bridal. How did you get to where you are right now?
Of course. I actually started, when you're in college deciding what you should maybe do with your life, I was playing lacrosse and started to work for an athletic apparel company. So we would go and coach lacrosse tournaments across the country, and the woman there started kind of an apparel line. So she was like, "Do you like fashion?" And I'm like, "Yeah." And I was like, "Okay, I'll head this whole thing." So she really put me in charge of all of that. That's when I started to, I had been in retail here and there, but that's when I really started to get into fashion, and went back to college that next year and took a fashion course. And then they kind of decided, well, what do you really love about fashion? And I thought, if I'm going to do this, I want to do it for the, most exciting time in your life, the biggest dress in your life. And so that's when I really started to delve into bridal. And from there, I started my career with an event planner, some smaller stores. And then I moved to New York and thought, if I'm going to do this, I will go to Kleinfeld and work there. So I started in accessories, which was why I love what I do today. I was the manager there for about 3 years, and it was wonderful. It was such a good experience. It taught me so much. It really allowed me to see different aspects of the industry. So at one point I just decided, well, if I'm going to do this, I want to kind of design and things like that. So I have had the amazing career of working with 2 designers, one in New York and one here out in LA. And so it's been such a amazing journey to really learn and see all of the sides of the bridal industry.
Yeah. So you said you were always in accessories because that's kind of like where you were starting, right? So what has kept you in accessories?
I think I'm very detail oriented, and I have this knack to really just see things, put it all together. I grew up, my mom owned a hair salon. And so I've always kind of been into hair and things like that, accessories, and just styling certain things. So I think I've just loved the look of it. I also think that I always think I'm an old soul. I love the old vintage bridal designs, things like that, and celebrity weddings. So it's just seeing the unique designs of accessories along the course of history has been such a interesting thing to me that it's kind of, I've honed in on that knack and really just enjoyed the craft of the wedding veil and the headpiece and things like that.
Yeah, for sure. So you mentioned, so where exactly are you from in the East Coast?
I'm from outside Philadelphia.
Okay, because when you mentioned your mom owned a hair salon, I was like, wait a second, are you from New Jersey? Did you ever see that show Jerseylicious? No. And it was about this Jersey hair salon.
I'm sure.
So when you say East Coast and hair, I'm like, oh my gosh.
Yeah. I'm from outside Philadelphia, and then I moved to New York to get into bridal and things like that. So,
okay, awesome. Well, that's a big change coming over here too. Yes. That's
I know it's been good.
Worlds,
though. I packed up my car one year and just said, let's go out to. My brother was out here, so it was a nice stepping stone, and then from there, just I've loved it ever since. So.
Yeah. So your company is called L. Garrettson.
Yeah.
Where did L. Garrettson come from?
So I started the name, and I always really kind of had this vision in mind of my grandmother, my mom's mom. Her maiden name was Garrettson. So I used her last name to put it together. And then L. Garrettson, I think if I had an alter ego, that would be, if I got to choose my name, that would be it. With Lauren, I always went by LD, my initials, and then my best friend always called me L. So I shortened it spelling it out as L, and then using my grandmother's maiden last name. So a little ode to her as well.
Yeah, and that's really special because I feel like accessories are honestly can be kind of like heirloom pieces.
Definitely.
Like pieces you pass down. So that's definitely nice that you taken that from your grandma.
Yes.
And
I unfortunately didn't have, she was sick, so I didn't have a great relationship of knowing her. And just in recent years, my mom has told me that she was actually a seamstress and that she really had that knack. So I'm always like, where did I get this from? Like, why do I love this certain aspects of this? And she's like, oh, I think it's in your blood. She really kind of had it too. So
wow. Okay. So you work with a lot of brides.
Yes.
What do you love most about brides and working with brides?
I just love the relationship that you can create. And obviously being here at Monami and being able to make custom pieces for our brides has been such a blessing for me. It's something that I can really create something special for each one of these brides and make it unique to their own style and their own taste. So that really has been such an amazing thing for me. I love to just be able to relate to them and create almost a friendship with them because when we're doing these custom pieces, it really becomes a relationship. We're working together through several different fittings. And so getting to know these brides, it's just been so gratifying.
Yeah. So with the custom pieces, you've done quite a few custom pieces with us, especially. Is there any one that stands out to you as being like your favorite one that you worked on?
Yes, I really do have a couple. Recently, there's been a bride here at Monami, and she knows who she is. Shout out to Kristen. She wore a custom black Stephen Urich gown, and I made her a custom black veil. Yes. And
did we post her?
Yes.
We did post her. Yes.
And she just knew what she wanted. She had this vision, and I loved that about her. And I love that I was able to create that for her. We made her a lace choker, and she just had a look that really, all came together. And I think that's the special part about working with these brides is being able to do it from start to finish and really achieving a look that is so personal to them.
Yeah, I did see that one. That was so cool.
Yeah.
And I was looking at that. I was like, I feel like black can be really hard to do.
Yes.
But she looked so elegant and beautiful. Like it was totally fitting.
Yes.
How perfect. There is a lot of different terminology when it comes to accessories. So explain to us the differences in veils primarily because that's the most popular, and then maybe some different types of headpieces since you do that as well.
Sure. Yes. And this is something too that has changed over time and really how each bride wears certain things. I think for a while, it's coming back now, which I love. There was a stigma of not wanting to wear a veil or that veils were too bridal, and a lot of girls got away from that. So I think now brides really do want to feel special and feel that amazing look of having the blusher over their face, certain things like that. So those things have changed. The wedding veil is the tulle or the silk netting that we use to create the look of the veil as they walk down the aisle. So it can have the piece over your face. It can have beading. It can have lace, but it really is meant to complement your dress and take the look to another level. I also customize headpieces, which we would context as combs or maybe like a floral vine. Now headbands are coming back, so the bigger the better. I just designed a few headbands that we have in store now, and just a different look, but a little, it can go regal. It can go a little bit more bohemian. So you have some options there.
Yeah. And I feel like I had a teacher when I was in high school, and he was a history teacher, and he said, I'm going to save you guys a lot of time. He said, trends every 20 years, they reset to 20 years back. Yeah.
So true.
Yeah. Basically, your trends are 20 years old.
And so, side note, I love Elvis Presley. Mm-hmm. I have an Elvis collection. I'm a very young girl to have an Elvis
That's
collection.
That's iconic.
Yeah. But I think that Priscilla Presley and the big waterfall veil, I just took a custom order for. That trend is actually coming back a little bit. And, to have a little bit of poof in the veil and have it be a little bit bigger is definitely coming back, which definitely recycles. We see that in gowns and sleeves and things like that.
Look at all the sleeves right now. Yeah. The big like billowing sleeves. Yeah. That is so 80s. Yeah. So that's, I don't know. I have especially seen that in bridal of just like 20-year-old trends coming back, off the shoulder billowing sleeves, the big veils, and now these big headbands. Yes. You're going to have to start making some veil headbands.
I know. Well, and that's the difference is that, so to go back to your point of how, these accessories work is that for the longest time, the veils were connected to these big headbands. Mm-hmm. And I slowly see it coming back. But my goal is to really modernize it and to make it so that it is, still trendy and youthful and stylish. So usually what we'll do is have the veil be separate so that the bride can take it off and then use her headpiece throughout the reception and still have that sparkle or lace in her hair to make it still look nice through the reception.
Of course. And I do notice as well that with every trend coming back in 20 years or, whatever, but it is a more modernized version. Yes. So like in the 80s or the 90s, even with the headbands, it was always like these really, it was like these floral bits that would go all on the headbands, and it was just very 80s 90s.
Yeah. I still have my mom's. I'm hoping that maybe one day I can modernize it to or hats were a big thing too. So I think maybe we'll see that trend.
But we see hats now. Yeah. We see like a wide brimmed hat. Mm-hmm. Like that's very popular for people to wear with their wedding dress. Yeah. Like it's just modern versions, and where you had those kind of, they almost look like, I don't even know how to explain the hats. How would you explain those older hats?
It was like you were going out to church on Easter Sunday.
Yes. With a veil attached and some big flowers. Yes.
I don't know. I'm glad we've modernized it to not have all of the sprigs and the flowers and things like that. But I think that that's truly why I love accessories, is because that certain piece or item that you pair with your amazing wedding gown really takes it to a look. And there's so many gowns in the world that you can try on and things like that. But once you find that special one, then with the accessories, you can really make it your own.
Exactly. And there's so many different ways you can go with the accessories as you're talking about. If you want to do the veil, you can do the veil, you can do the headpieces, which can be a headband, which can be a crown. The vines, as you were talking, are very popular as well. There's so much you can do. And then there's all these like categories within those. Like, so for example, what are some of like the different veil lengths, and what would those be?
Of course. So, traditionally, the long veil we go about cathedral length. Now, because we've seen Princess Meghan and Kate and Diana do such long veils, we can go as long as you need. So we can customize. I think it really depends on the venue and where you are having your ceremony. Cathedral length is going past your train. So you always want the veil to go a little bit past your train, especially if it has detailing of lace or beading design, so that it really emphasizes and frames your train. Mm-hmm. We also do a fingertip length that comes closer to your hip point or right where your fingertip would end. And that's a great option if you're not thinking about a veil and you want something just as that added touch, you can just wear it behind. So you have a lot of options where it doesn't need to be like, oh, I have a wedding veil on. But I think in photos, it really just, pulls the whole look together to make you really look like a bride and feel a little bit more special on that day.
Yeah, for sure. So your custom process, I mean, first of all, you do custom here.
Yes.
So brides can come meet with you and create their perfect look with their accessories.
Yes.
Which is really awesome. So what does that custom process entail? What does that look like for a bride that is coming in here and doesn't know that we do that?
Of course. So I have a full collection of different styles here, fingertip, cathedral length, waltz length veils, and all different styles. So we can use those to really give you the look that you're going for. Or what happens a lot of times is that the bride will pick a gown, and then the train, we need to extend the veil. So we customize the length, or we just see, I think that's what I love about my experience, is that I have worked with designers and they've really taught me the way of lace placement and things like that. So I have a vision to be able to see what would look the best with that gown that they've chosen and things like that. So then we will decide if we want more lace or, where we want to place the lace, things like that. And then from there, we would place the order when they buy their gown so that they see the look all together. The veil comes in at the same time as the dress. And a lot of times what I love to do is be there for the first fitting to make sure that everything is perfect, make sure the length works with the gown. And if we need to make any changes to the lace, then we do so.
Yeah. And I feel like, too, a good point to be made about that is that's a very special memory for you to have, because you can't get that a lot of times with your dress.
Right.
It's a lot harder to get that with your dress, but especially you seeing it through all the way to the end, that's a really great experience, and that's a good story to tell when you pass down that piece, if you decide to pass down that piece.
It definitely makes it that heirloom. And I just love to work with the brides and be there with all of the experience that I've had in the industry, just to, it's the first time that they're buying this dress and making this look come together. So I just like to be there to kind of be that helping hand and that friend to tell them, what I think and what will look good. So it's a fun process.
Yeah. And how much time do you typically suggest for that?
Well, they're buying their dresses usually about 8 months to 12 months out. So with the veil, sometimes it's a lot to decide at that moment. If we don't do it then typically I like to have them come in about 4 to 6 months prior, so that they have time to purchase the veil and get it in for their fitting right before. Okay.
And what is the soonest you have done for veils?
When is and that is the benefit that we have here too, is if you've decided that you're still contemplating your look, your accessories, I am available for in alterations. So a lot of times on the weekends, I'm in alterations helping and stuff that we could order your veil there as well. I don't want you to think, I can't get a veil, because we can do it within the matter of 2 to 4 weeks as well. So
okay, that's good to know.
Exactly. And with all these, upcoming, weddings and short lead times and stuff, you can always have a veil.
Yeah, you really don't know. So I think that's always, at least in my experience, what brides always ask me is how much time do I have to figure this part out? Because it is very overwhelming to get through the dress. And then you find your dress and you're like, okay, but I do something else. So that's good to know. 2 to 4 weeks. You can do that in
your fittings. And then if you give yourself that 3 to 6 months out, then it's a nice way to just set up an appointment with me here in the store and be able to put your dress back on, which is great, see it again, and then be able to just focus on the accessories.
Yeah. So you can set up an appointment with you directly by just calling the store, right?
Yes.
Okay. So you call the store and you ask for Lauren.
Yes.
You're the only Lauren.
Accessories, and I got you.
Yes, for sure. So what would you say, you've been doing this for designing accessories for how many years, you'd say, in total?
Well, it all started when all my friends started to get married. Yeah. So I was in New York. I was working for Lazaro, who, he was really my mentor, and I owe so much to him of just teaching me about dress design. And I really wanted to learn the construction and things like that of how a dress was made, the fit. So that has helped me immensely. And he really taught me he made these beautiful lace veils. So how to cut veils, how to place the lace. And So there was a older woman there named Jenny who she just kind of took me under her wing too. And she was our veil woman who made all the veils and sewed the lace and everything like that. So I think that experience, again, after being in accessories at Kleinfeld, helped me to know that I just loved it. That was my passion. And, I think when you decide to start your own business, you need to focus on, people have told me, stay your lane. I think I could get into dresses, I could do certain things, but for whatever reason right now, the accessories are just what I love. And, it's been so good in that sense. So then all of my friends were getting married. My sister-in-law got married. And so it was back to back to back. That's why I'm not, because I was like, I'm tired. But I helped all of them get married and do their accessories. And so one by one, I would make their combs and their veils and things. And that's when I started to realize, like, okay, this is what I want to do for a living.
Okay. Yeah. So in that time that you've been doing this, what has been something you've seen a lot of and maybe something that you haven't seen too much of, like in terms of like styles and that kind of thing?
I think the best part is that when you see these brides and when you work with them, they really do all have, a different dress and it's unique to them. My best friend got married in a beautiful Lozaro gown, but she has, amber strawberry blonde hair. And we did this amazing custom rose gold beading and it was so unique to her. And so I think that's the special thing, is that each gown is so significant to them and really unique to their own style. But that to me is the benefit at the end of the day. When we put the whole look together, it's like you see that look on them and you just know, you're like, that dress was made for her. That look, those accessories that really all came together, and that look was really made for her. Just special.
Yeah. So you'd say everybody's kind of unique in what they do.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is great, Okay, so now I'm really excited because we ask everybody 3 questions.
Okay.
all of our guests here on the podcast, we ask 3 questions. So just give me whatever you're thinking about when I ask you, okay?
Lightning round, okay?
Yes.
I'm ready.
So the first one is, if you had an autobiography, what would it be? What would it be called? And why would it be called that?
Okay. It's a tough one. I'm just going to go with this. I feel like I would call it something along the lines of like bridal and bubbly. Something, I would want to just write a story about my experience in the industry, my experience in New York. I loved living in New York and Manhattan for my 20s, and now it feels like so far away that I really would just like kind of hone in on that and how I got into the industry, and then that course and that path along the way. And along the way, there was a lot of champagne. There was a lot of bubbly, and that's my favorite. So
I was thinking you were saying bubbly like happy.
Oh, no, that's...
No, I like bubbly how you did it.
It could be a take on it. And all of the celebrating that you do with these brides and things like that, I think is, the bubbly just makes it all the better. So
of course, yeah. I love that.
Maybe touch on some of my, my friends that I've done and their experiences, and then my, brides that I've had such good experiences with, things like that.
For sure.
Yeah.
Okay, so the next question is, what 3 things could you not live without?
Ooh, that's a good one. I'm going to say, I'm trying to think of like an item that I couldn't live without, but really I think this is a weird one, but I love salad. So like if I'm going to, I can't live without like having salad, champagne, and I'm going to say I can't live without my boyfriend. He's my best friend, and I really can't. So
that's cute. The salad one we have to talk about later. Oh, I think that's hilarious.
And Elvis Presley.
Elvis Presley, maybe salad for honorable mention.
Okay, yeah.
The salad.
Oh, what's a good one that I can't live without is bar. So when I lived in New York, I found bar, and I was a D1 athlete. I always was competitive. So it always felt like, okay, I need something. I didn't necessarily think that this is a good one for brides too, because I didn't think that bar was a great workout. I was like, okay. Then I started and I got obsessed, all the way to the point that recently I have owned my own bar studio. I started that on the side, and it was wonderful. I'm still teaching at a studio here in Costa Mesa called Meraki Bar. So it's been great. It's a great workout for brides, because so many times as women, we don't want to feel bulky. We don't want to lift so much weight. And I've done both. So just for me personally and my body, I have really lengthened my muscles, elongated. And so it's a really great workout for brides to feel so toned and, fit on their wedding day too. So I cannot live without bar.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. That's awesome. So final answer is bar, champagne, and your boyfriend.
Yeah.
Okay.
And bridal. Yeah.
Yes. So. You know, when you said bar at first, I thought you were talking about like the bar.
The bar with
like
champagne.
I was like, wow, she's really sticking to this. She said, not without the bar, not without the champagne. And then if my boyfriend wants to join, that's great too. That's great. Okay. So the last question is, what is your advice to current or future brides?
Sure. Like recently engaged brides.
Yeah.
I would say, when you're starting this process, just to enjoy it. I think so much of social media and our lifestyle nowadays is go, go, go. Recently, obviously, with COVID, not so much. So it's actually nice for these brides to just be able to enjoy being engaged, enjoy the process of planning. I also think right now that there's not as much, I wouldn't say as much pressure, but, you kind of can strip back a lot of things. And we've done that just in our lifestyle. So to be able to enjoy the process of planning the wedding, enjoy the process of shopping, whether it be with your loved ones, your friends, family, to be able to just enjoy that process, because it does go by fast, and the whole experience of taking all of this time to plan your wedding, and then it does happen quickly, is just to really enjoy the process and make it your own. So to be able to customize things and, shop with a consultant here in the store is just a special time to be able to really make your wedding your own.
Yeah. And I do want to piggyback off of one thing you had mentioned in your answer just now. A lot of brides are very scared to customize. They're very scared because I feel like the feedback I get a lot is like, I'm not going to be able to picture this.
Sure.
And I'm scared going into it. So more specifically, I'm curious to know what your advice is to brides that are scared to customize, because I think it's really great too.
Yeah. And, it's something that obviously everyone is different, and some people don't have the vision. I think the most important thing that when you're shopping for a wedding gown is to trust your consultant, because they really, especially here at Monami, we want that bride to succeed in finding a gown. We want them to find something unique. And me personally, like, I don't want to sell the same gown to a bride to sell a gown. I will really want to make it a vision that she has and make it unique to her. So I think if you are going to customize, just to know that your consultant is not going to steer you in a direction that would, ever be, ugly in that sense, or, it's really going to be something that is beautiful, is unique to you. And I also think that we don't love to make too many changes to a gown, because obviously that's the designer's gown. And their vision. It's really just to make sure that we are making that gown fit you specifically, and certain things like that. So whether it's like raising a neckline or adding a sleeve, things like that, those are things that can just enhance the gown to your body type and make it your own.
Yeah. And I think it's important to mention too, one of the great advantages of working with us here at Monami in, we have been here for a long time. We have been able to develop really great relationships with our designers. And I think that to us, and I'm speaking kind of on behalf of everybody right now, so I hope that it's accurate, but I feel pretty confidently it is. making a sale is not worth the potentially ruining somebody's
of course
vision
never.
of their dress and
Never.
their wedding day. So I think when we suggest that you make a change, or when we suggest that something is going to look good, it's always like we always make sure that we're
I really think that is the difference. And again, as a bride, you're only doing this once. It's your first time shopping, so it is a unique experience. It's much different than going to the store and trying on clothes. This is the most unique piece of a garment that you're going to wear. So the experience that we have in doing so is far beyond. And so it is an experience to really use your consultant and be honest with them. I think sometimes it's a scary experience. Even in the rare moments that I've stood on the pedestal and tried to dress on, it's frightening. It's a scary thing. So, you're standing in that mirror and things like that, and all eyes are on you. But I think to use your consultant in a way that you really do create a relationship and a bond with them and a trust with them, that they are really always going to have your best interest at heart. I know that you're just walking in for the first time, but that's what we are here for.
Yeah, 100%. We're confident in our expertise, and we're confident in your ability to choose the best thing for you, which I think is what it all boils down to in the end. Is you, just like you have to be confident in us, we have to be confident in you. So that was really great advice. Thank you.
Of course.
So Lauren, if people want to find you, where can they find you?
Of course. So I would love for you to go and follow my bridal Instagram, my accessories page, which is L. Garrettson Bridal, at L. Garrettson Bridal. If you'd like to set up an appointment, obviously you can call the store. That is the best way. Or you can email Monami, info@Monami, or you can email my email that is info@lgarrettson.com as well. And that way we can set up an appointment to come in and try different accessories. Even if you didn't purchase your gown here, you have your gown previously, you're more than welcome to bring your gown in, and then we can customize your accessories to match your gown as well. So
for sure. So thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you for having me. It's so great.
Yeah, it was so fun chatting with you about all these amazing accessories that you can do.
Yes.
So if you guys like this episode of the podcast, make sure you like and subscribe, or rate and subscribe us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and then make sure that you follow us on social media at Monami Bridal Salon on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, TikTok, Pinterest. And I think I got them all. Until next Friday, we'll talk to you guys soon.